How's it going, everyone? Hopefully you're doing well. Welcome back to another tank review. Today we're going to be going through the Skorpion G. I'm going to be going through a brief overview to get started, then through the equipment, the crew skills, and then we're going to head into comparison to compare it to some other tanks that are similar by nature. After all of that's done, we're going to head into some live gameplay, probably 2 battles, just to see how it performs. This is not going to have any cherry-picked games. They're going to be live, me playing it as you're seeing it right now. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So, Skorpion G, a brief overview. Straight away, we're going to talk about the gun. Now, this thing gets a 490 alpha damage gun with very decent standard pen of 248. It does have APCR rounds of 311 pen, and they do go slightly faster. HE rounds are pretty decent as well, with 65 pen and 630 alpha, so I would probably say take about 2 of them, because when you do meet fellow Skorpion Gs, or not so fellow actually, because they'll be on the enemy team, but you can pump HE shells into them and they'll do a lot of damage. Now, what I would suggest you do is maybe take a few APCR rounds just for when you do meet those heavy tanks that you need to pen for whatever reason. So something like this for the ammo loadout and you'll be good. Armor wise, this thing does not have any armor. You need to stay hidden. Luckily enough, it does have a good concealment rating of about 20 when you do have a concealment crew as well added on top. As you can see here, I have everyone having concealment apart from the commander, I believe. So it's got a decent enough concealment crew. The Skorpion G does come with a base camo, so you have plus 3% all the time. The standard Skorpion doesn't, but you can put camo on it, of course, if you want to. Mobility of the vehicle is decent. It goes 60 forwards and has a decent enough power to weight to actually get you there. So you're not going to be feeling really sluggish. You don't ever feel like you can't move around the map, but of course, with the armor, you don't want to just be bombing it into an aggressive position early on and then just dying early, like straight away, because you're not going to do anyone any favors by doing that, apart from the enemy team, of course. So it has good concealment, good mobility, good firepower, no armor, and you are going to need coated optics on this tank just to get it up to that 445 view range of the detection range that you're going to want. Which luckily brings us straight into the equipment. Now, equipment for this tank, I would recommend you use IRM, gun rammer, and optics. If you're going to be using food, that means that you're going to have roughly this view range that I have here, 447, or around 445 meters view range, roughly, give or take a few perks and skills and whatnot. Honestly, you could go and use improved aiming on this thing instead of IRM, and yeah, that's a valid option. It's going to give you a decent reduction in your dispersion as well. So either of these two are pretty good options. I wouldn't recommend a gun lane drive. Your aiming time is already at 1.8, which is more than fast enough for the majority of situations. Obviously, dispersion is going to be a lot better if you do use IRM, and also your hull traverse and turret traverse are going to be a lot better as well because you are using IRM on this vehicle, which makes it very nice if you are sitting at the back, because then you have just a faster turret traverse with better dispersion, which means that you are a more overall complete package when you get into the game. Some people will choose binos instead of optics, and that is of course down to you, your personal preference. If you're not going to use food, then I would recommend you use binos, because at least then you will get your view range up to where you want it to be. And even if you don't want to use optics, go ahead, use binos. Even if you're going to use food, there's no real downside to it, apart from the fact that you are going to have to stand still to activate them. Camo net I wouldn't really recommend, because it gets okay camo, and realistically I wouldn't ditch out any other equipment for it. Like, you're not going to ditch out the optics for it, you're not going to ditch out ramming, you're not going to ditch out this, even if you use this. Like, there's no real incentive to use a camo net with binos in this tank. I mean, sure, maybe you could go with rammer, camo and binos, but I would want this to be an as complete package in the game as possible. So if you do need to go into close quarters, then you can do. And this tank can. Like, this tank, because it gets 490 alpha, you can outtrade a lot of people that you'll meet. Now, moving into the crew skills, and I've actually just changed my commander because this did have situational awareness from the Borsig. Now, because this tank and also the WT Panzer IV, the next tier up, gets a radio operator, you no longer need situational awareness on the commander because it just can't have it. So it's going to be completely useless, which you might have seen. And now it's got one more view range, but it's not really going to make too much of a difference. So we do have now concealment on here and recon fully trained. If you might have seen that earlier on in the video up here. Yeah. So what do I recommend? Of course, Brothers in Arms, you're going to want that on pretty much every tank. As much concealment as you can. Concealment is probably the most important thing for one of these kind of TDs. You're also going to want situational awareness, recon. They're the main ones that you want. So make sure you have them. And then you can kind of just start doing whatever you kind of want to the crew. So stick snapshot on there, smooth ride. They're all going to help out greatly. But the main ones, Brothers in Arms, situational awareness, recon, and then concealment. They're the main ones that you want. And of course, Sixth Sense, but that's a given. The same as kind of Brothers in Arms. You almost don't have to say those types of skills because realistically, Sixth Sense should just be built into the game anyway. Okay, so here on Tanks GG to do the comparison. We've got the Skorpion G, the Borsig, and the SU-130PM. All of these, I know there's only, what, 2 of these to compare it to, but realistically, there's no others that are really, like, super similar. So, yeah, we're going to do this. I'm actually going to update this tank to use the 490 alpha damage gun, just to make things a little bit more comparable, because 750, not really what we're going for at the moment. So, straight away, the DPM. It sits, I mean, in the middle, but realistically, this DPM is exactly the same as the SU's DPM. The Borsig is leaps and bounds ahead in DPM respect, so yeah. Penetration, they're all exactly the same. Free pen is not going to make that much of a difference in the game, so all of these are the same. 520 alpha on the SU compared to 490 on the other two. So again, it's just trading blows. Like, sure, you get slightly less DPM, but you do get a higher alpha damage on the SU 130PM compared to the Skorpion. Rate of fire and reload, of course, the Skorpion is going to have a better reload than the SU 130PM because it does have a lower alpha damage. So it should, in theory, relate to a slightly lower reload. If it has less alpha than it. Also, the Borsig gets, I mean, it's 2 seconds lower than the SU and 1 second lower than the Skorpion G. So the Borsig's gun is clearly a big, like, win for it in comparison to any of these. Caliber of 128 means that you're not going to have to worry about the Swedish TDs. Anywhere that you shoot them, it should go straight through an overmatch, so that's not an issue. Shell velocity, roughly the same. The SU does get slightly higher, but it's not by much. And the ammo capacity of 30. Yeah, it only gets 30 rounds, which means that you're kind of a little bit limited, but at the same time, you get like a 12-second reload by default, so you're not going to be firing out those 30 rounds really, really fast. But I would like to see more rounds in the on these tanks. Now, for the gun handling, Skorpion G. 2 seconds aim time, 0.29, which is just the best. There's nothing else to say about it. It's the best. It beats this one and it beats this one because these two are exactly the same when it comes to aiming time and dispersion. So yeah, 0.29 is super nice on this tank. Dispersion while moving, although it looks like this is, you know, a lot better, it's not realistically, which is why I say that you should realistically use IRM on this thing. Just to get this down a little bit. It will help you out, especially in the turret traverse when you are sitting still and you're moving the turret around. It will help out quite a bit. It does have -7 degrees of gun depression, which is an important thing to note because the Borsig gets none at like 5. And yeah, this tank is actually a little bit taller than it, so it's nice to have 7 degrees rather than basically nothing on the Borsig. Now, in the mobility section, it is not as fast as the SU. However, it gets the best power to weight and it gets a good engine power of 650. Combine that with the fact that it's actually the heaviest out of all of them, you can go and ram an SU and a Borsig and take hardly any damage in return. 60 and 20, like, that's beautiful. look at the Borsig of 35 and 12 when it reverses. It means that you can get out of the way of incoming fire pretty easily, so you can poke up on a ridgeline, shoot once, back off again, and hopefully don't take any damage in return for it. Terrain resistances are fine. They're exactly the same as the issue on 30 PM, and they are like worse than the Borsig, but not loads and loads worse. As you can see, there's a lot of trading blows with the Borsig here. Like, sure, the Borsig gets a much better rate of fire and stuff like that. However, the Skorpion G gets a more accurate gun. So, honestly, overall, as a package, Skorpion G, I'd just say is a better tank. But, I don't know. Maybe some of you will disagree. Armor and health. This thing doesn't have armor. Okay, I don't even need to show you the armor model of this tank, because it just doesn't have any. You shoot it anywhere, it will pen, unless you shoot it in the gun. And in that case, then it's not going to pen. But pretty much everywhere, you don't need to worry about it. You will pen, even with HE. As long as you don't hit the tracks with HE, you should be fine. Although, next update, maybe even that will go through. Now, stationary camo and stuff like that is actually kind of interesting. Because, while stationary, the Borsig gets... yeah... it's like they forgot this thing was a TD. Although the camo is okay, it's not anywhere close to being like the Borsig or like the issue on 30 PM. Because the issue and the Borsig are quite low profile tanks, and the Skorpion G is not, you're going to notice that in the camo values, as you can see here. So even after firing, it still gets much worse than the Borsig and the issue. So you need to be careful with it, is what I'm saying. Don't shoot unnecessarily, and make sure you're behind a bush when you do shoot, because chances are you might get spotted when you fire. View range of 360, it's not very good, but at the end of the day, it is a TD. It's not meant to be some kind of spotting tank, so it's across the board 360 for all of these. I'd say that's fair and balanced. If you have any more than that, then you are approaching kind of the realms of you can almost just go forward, sit in a bush and spot and do a light tank's job. It does have a higher than normal chance of fire compared to the other two. However, even then, the problem is you shouldn't be getting spotted in this thing anyway. And when you make trades with tanks that are higher tier or your same tier in cities and stuff like that, just try and only take one shot in return. Because if you take any more than that, one, you're just going to have a very, very bad trade. And two, if they fire HE at you, you're probably going to get set on fire. So is a fire extinguisher an absolute must? Not really. I'm still going to use food on this tank because food improves absolutely everything on the tank. However, if you do feel like you need a fire extinguisher, then go ahead and use it. Now, for the shell cost of one shell is 1,000. It doesn't really make any difference. All the credit multipliers for premium tanks should be balanced in a way where majority of them are just going to make this exact same amount compared to each other. Okay, so that's the end of the comparison. Let's go ahead and play some live games, shall we? Okay, so here we are in our Skorpion G on Pilsen. Now, where do we realistically want to go? Well, not off to the left. Although that can work, it's not really the best of ideas early on in the game. So we're going to go up to the right-hand side and see if we can just be patient and try to get some shots on people that are around here. There is 2 EBRs, so potential for us to shoot them early on in the game. As you can see, do we get... no, he's too far away, so we don't get spotted, which is nice. I'm going to go close to this this building here to try and... oh, hello. Wait, he's running away. Oh, we're going to get spotted by him. But we can take him out in return. And we're going to take one more shell. Yeah, we take one more shell from him as well. Hopefully we don't take another. I want to try and back off now. But a good start so far, actually. Not a bad start, all things considered. Let's see if we can actually get a shot on this Borsig if he pushes out. If we had been a little bit more kind of decisive in our movements early on, then we probably wouldn't have even taken a shot because we would have been behind the house. I don't think this guy is going to... Ooh, wait, does he... I can't really see him, unfortunately. There's a guard all the way at the back. But I'm not really too worried about him at the moment. Just a little bit of patience. That's all we need at the moment. A little bit of patience while the EBR pushes up. And hopefully one of these makes the wrong move. Hopefully. If the EBR pushes up underneath, then we might be able to get a nice shot on him. On anyone that's further back. Okay, you know what? We're going to fire once and then pull back. Just a blind shot. I don't know if I doubt that it hit anyone, but it's worth a try. See, there's the UDES. So clearly someone else is there. This EBR, I don't know when I can shoot if he pokes up. Okay, let's pull back a little bit and get a shot on this Kampfpanzer. Ah, bit unlucky. Gun trolling us a little bit, but that's fine. I'm going to aim back that way a little bit and go for him again. Because I would assume that he's gone back, and I believe there's like right there. I can't remember exactly, but there is a little tiny like not alcove, but there's something that you can hide behind back there. And wait, and fire. Well, so far the SU is hitting everything and I'm not. Nice. No. RNG is not liking us today, by the looks of things. Kampfpanzer might get spotted again in a second, though. This is the majority of gameplay in the Skorpion G, though. Like, you just have to sit here and just wait. Because you can't afford to get spotted and just die. See if we get Kampfpanzer spotted again. Kampfpanzer just killed him as well. Wow. Oh, let's see. I want some more damage in this thing. Guard pushing up. We can get a shot on him. That's fine. Okay, you know what we're going to do? We're actually going to push down here into the middle a little bit and see if we can shoot across to hit the Bizonte and stuff. I can't remember what HP the EBR was on. We might be able to shoot the T-44. Well, that's out the way now. Which is actually good news for us. The Bizonte's pushing in. Oh, beautiful. One into the T-44. Very, very nice. They're just outside of our detection range as well, which is even better. One more in the Bizonte, because I want to try and get a nice juicy hit into him. Very nice. And we're not going to shoot him anymore, because he's well out the way of our view range. So, yeah. It's an okay little bit of damage there. I believe what we have to do now, though... Oh, man. Rip. And I miss. Okay. I have to go back. I can't sit here. I know the T-44 might shoot me. One into him. I don't think he's so happy with me. He dies for it though. I need to try and get out of here. Medkit that. Get me out of here, please. Before these all push down this side. That's what I don't want to happen, and then I'm stuck. If I can get out of here and try and get into a more defensive location to defend the base, then that's good. I want to be up here realistically where the T-103 is. Because we've lost this side of the map. There's nothing I can do. Like, nothing. I can't defend something where I have 0 armor, and all I have realistically is a big cannon. I'm not going to be able to shoot this progetto because there'll be buildings in the way and stuff. But hopefully we can just push up. Be able to shoot whatever's down here in a second. Okay, at least we've made it to safety. See if the IS-2 comes through as well. Be interesting. We should be relatively safe here. He's just behind the building. That's actually really unlucky for us. Maybe he's going to push. I don't know. Can I get a shot if I go like over here? Ooh. Hello, you Des. I'm not sure. Might be able to get a shot in a second. Come on. Just a little bit more. Don't really know what his plan is, to be honest. Okay. You know what? Go into here. Maybe we gotta spot something over here in a second. We shouldn't get detected. And we should be able to spot them. He dies for that. Good. Not really too sure what our 703 is doing. He's got good enough health. He's still got 800. He can still take a hit. We should be safe from this side as well. It's just about playing time now. Hopefully the Kampfpanzer, not the Kampfpanzer, the Kanonen and Jagdpanzer stays around there, and the T-103 stays around there, because that's going to be important for us to be able to defend this. Oh, speaking of the Kampfpanzer, where has he gone? Like the Kanonen and the Kampf have just disappeared. I reckon they're around here somewhere, because to push this is actually a little bit hard. Well, we're kind of screwed now because we have no one watching the other side. Kill him. And we die for it. Well, not a lot you can do when your team fails on both flanks. Oh well. We tried and we die for it. No blind shots here. We got a little bit unlucky with RNG, I'm not gonna lie. Some of those shots should have hit. But what are you going to do? Oh well. Third on damage done. Yeah. I don't know. Like, how did he only do 300 damage? I don't know. Like, our top tier heavies kind of let us down. Not gonna lie. I mean, this guy done alright. He done good. But, yeah. This. I don't know. He fired 11 shots. Hit 9 and didn't pen any. Okay. Credit income wise, we lost 20k from the food. Otherwise, that would be a decent amount that we gained. Yeah, let's play one more game and then wrap things up, shall we? Okay, so we're on Cliff. Tier 6 game. So that's good for us. Bad for the tier 6s. Because I'm going to wipe out half their hit points in one shot. Or even 3/4 most of the time. So what are we going to do? Well, we're going to go up to the back because realistically there's nowhere else for me to go and I might as well camp. This is the only reason why I don't like TDs and like the Skorpion G is because you have to camp a lot if you actually want to be successful. You can go and push in and, you know, trade your damage and stuff like that, but it's not something that you want to do all the time. You want to be sitting at the back here, doing 460 damage to the guy. He's literally half health now with one shot. So, yeah, that's what you want. I can't shoot the Skorpion G. However, we might be able to shoot someone else in the middle in a second if they decide that they want to push up that way. Oh, Borsig. No, he's not going to... I doubt very highly that he goes back into the middle after he just received a big old hit from me. Interestingly enough, the lava's gone down here. And... what other heavies do they have? Okay, you know what? Reading the map, we need to go down and fight now, because that's where the damage is. So, let's go into the middle, or even actually just around the side. Hopefully we don't get spotted for going this way, but I'd love to shoot some people over this side. Pantera's going in and killed our Type 58. I bet you he had a lot of fun in this game. Realistically speaking, I need that Borsig to have killed the thingy. Alright, we kill this one because he will run away. We reload in 5 seconds. And now we can go and kill the the T-43. Oh, gun depression. Wait, I'm heavier than him, right? No, 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 no. There is no running. Oh, oh dear. I have made a mistake. Okay, well. I tried to stop and Soapbox carried on going. Nice. Thanks, game. Well, there you go. That's what not to do. I mean, we tried to ram him off the cliff and we did, but as soon as I made contact, I tried to press S and apparently the tank just doesn't stop. But I mean, yeah, sure. I shouldn't have rammed him and tried to ram him down a cliff, but whatever. Yeah, credit income wise, we made 13k. Again, 20k for food, so we're still making profit, but not a lot. And we only done 1k damage, and apparently that's good enough for 4th. I love turbo games. How long did this game last? I died at 3 minutes. The game lasted 5 minutes. Okay. Good. Oh, at least you know what not to do. It was a turbo game, so I'm not really too mad about it, but whatever. So that has been the Skorpion G. Hopefully this did help your buying decision if you were thinking about buying this tank. And if not, then at least you know all the statistics about the tank. It's a good tank. It is a really, really good tank. And probably one of the best TDs. However, it is a TD, and I don't like TDs that just camp at the back and just, like, there's no real way of getting into the battle sometimes. And you're just forced to sit there and wait, like you saw in that first game on Pilsen. I know not a lot really happened in the second game, but not all battles can be perfect. But you saw in that battle on Pilsen, you just can't, you don't always have the potential to carry the game. And it is really, really annoying. Especially with the fact that you get okay camo, but not great. It's not up to scratch of normal TDs. It's just something you have to learn to deal with. So I'm not going to tell you whether I think it's worth it or not. I'm just going to say it is a good tank, and you can make it up for your own decision if you want to buy it or not. I don't know when it's going to be on sale, usually around frontline time, which is going to be very, very soon. which reminds me, I need to go and set my tank up for Frontline again. With the next season pass, Frontline should be added, so there you go. These are the tanks I'd recommend for Frontline, if any of you actually care about that. But, yeah. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe, as it does all help me out greatly. And, yeah. Try to change some things up in this video, so make it a little bit more pleasing to watch with the editing and stuff like that. So hopefully you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.